Hi all, this is Once and Future Gamer and welcome to another Pokemon challenge. Last time was a tear through Pokemon Platinum as I sought to see if I could beat it with just a single Mantike. Today though, we're keeping with the flying type theme. We're having a return to Kanto and Gen 1 as I see if I can beat Pokemon Yellow with a single Pidgey. Pidgey then, the OG bird. We're pretty weedy. In Gen 1 standards, since the special attack and defence were combined, we've got a 216 base stat total, with the best one being speed by a long way. That could be pretty helpful in Gen 1 though. Attack is okay for what we are, I guess. We're normal and flying type, so we're weak to rock, electric and ice. We're immune to ground and ghost. We resist bug and grass. Immune to ghost, but not nightshade, I don't believe in Gen 1. Weird, right? Where I think this is going to get rough is with the moveset. Via level up, we get a whole lot of nothing impressive. The highest damaging move we learn via level up has 40 base power. Wing attack is underpowered in this generation. I said it recently that mirror move is more cute than useful. Things don't even get much better via TM as we only get normal and flying type damaging moves here, so the type coverage is a little lacking. I think this is going to be one where I'll need Mimic to make it through some of the later fights. This wasn't a viewer suggestion challenge. I said at the start of the year that I wanted to do more Gen 1 Pokemon runs, especially after last year. As always folks, rules are on the screen throughout, and if you do enjoy what you see then like, subscribe and ring that bell. Let's do this! I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Pikachu with Pidgey so that I can do the whole run with it. I chose to replace Pikachu because there was quite literally no other option. The rival takes Eevee, of course, and I'm not expecting the lab fight to be easy. I think whichever evolution he ends up with is going to be rough for us to fight. Even if he doesn't get Jolteon, he'll still have Magneton, who, while not Steel type in this gen, is still a defensively sound Pokemon, will struggle to hurt. I chose to nickname Pidgey Skyrat because it was quite literally the first thing I came up with. We have the rival fight against Eevee and we get outsped and hit with Tackle, but we strike a Sand attack. That Tackle does a lot of damage, alas. There is a speed tie, it would appear, as we start to strike Gusts and Eevee goes for Tail Whip. Another Tackle soon after puts us on red health, but for some reason at this point he just stops attacking and begins to spam Tail Whip over and over on us, and we can soon take it down after a flurry of Gusts. Okay, so I get training on the road to Viridian City. I figure it's something I'll definitely need to do since the first obstacle we'll have is the Rock Gym, and having to fight Onix and Geodude with only weak normal type moves, especially when they're also going to be resisted, this is going to be somewhat of an issue, I would say. Plus, there's always that chance we're going to get murdered by Bide if we misjudge it badly. I saw last challenge how being hit back for double damage can wreck a run. Platinum with Mantike folks, check it out. Not long later, I head off to Route 22 and have a battle with the rival. Pretty much everything I can do at this point is to get stronger ahead of the gruelling Rock Gym fight. I'm really not looking forward to it. He begins with Spearow and we hit a Gust before being hit with a crit Peck. We go for another Gust but it survives and goes for Growl before we take it down with a third Gust. So it's going well so far. We land Gust on Eevee, it fails first with a Sand attack and then hits a Sand attack at the second attempt before critting a Tackle. This fight is pretty unfortunate for us in that sense, but we just keep on hitting Gusts and we never miss before taking it down for the count. I've got travelling through Viridian Forest as I contemplate where my journey will take me next. After Brock, there's going to be Mount Moon to get me through, more rock types, before there'll be a rival fight in Cerulean City, and the Water Gym is also a bit unpleasant too. Just when you think things will get better though, there's also the Electric Gym after that. Alright then, the Rock Gym, and let's see how badly this ends up going. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of spamming attacks and hoping for the best. Sand attack might be pretty important as things go, since not being hit will be useful. He begins with his Geodude and we immediately go for Sand attack before starting to spam Quick attack. Our individual quick attacks don't do bad damage considering, but unfortunately, over the course of the fight, the Geodude doesn't miss a lot of attacks and we get hit with a flurry of tackle attacks. These attacks soon wear our health down, and although we keep hitting enough to soon bring it down, we lose probably nearly 3/4 of our health in pretty short order. I'm not confident versus Onyx, put it that way. We go for a sand attack on Onyx, and since it goes to bide, I keep spamming sand attack over the next few turns until it unleashes energy, and once it does, I go back onto the quick attack offensive. At least with priority, we're not going to end up going second. Even crits don't do a lot of damage to Onyx, and about the only saving grace is that it misses a lot of attacks on us, though it does crit a tackle of its own. I am truly grateful over the course of this fight that we never got hit with bind. We soon bottom Onyx's accuracy out, and we get hit with another attack to put us on red health, but we can just about hold out and bring it down to give us the first badge. In Mount Moon, I picked up a fossil. Any questions? I also picked up a fight with Team Rocket's Jesse and James. Bit disappointed that they didn't name them in this game, but it's worth remembering that the gym leaders and Elite Four aside, no opponents did have a name in this gen, so I can't really hold that against them. It's just a reminder that the anime used to have these characters. I've not really watched the new anime since Ash left it, so I'm not going to comment on it. Mind you, I have been started watching the Johto Journeys on Pokemon TV on YouTube, so that's been quite a good throwback. In Cerulean City, I decide to go after the rival, and so I head up Nugget Bridge for the face-off. Versus Spearow, we land a quick attack, but it soon strikes back with a 4-hit Fury attack on us to eat into our HP. Another quick attack brings it down, much to my relief. We land quick attacks on Sandshrew. It's 3 hits of that move to bring it down, and we do drop below the half health mark after being hit with 2 scratches, which bit worrying. Rattata is a 2-hit takedown with quick attack. It only fails with tail whip, which I'll call a win right now, and then Eevee. This is a story of failure as we 3-hit it with quick attack, and it fails with both growl and tail whip, and we can strike it down for the win. I decide to wander into the gym next and have my battle with Misty. Not sure how this will go, given we're probably going to get quite badly hurt by some of her more potent water attacks. Bubble Beam is quite worrying in this game for sure. Versus Staryu, we go for quick attack and get hit with Water Gun for nearly 1/4 of our health, but she only goes for an X-Defend on the next turn, and 2 more quick attacks take Staryu down. I was worried about getting hit with Bubble Beam from Starmie, but it never went for the move. There were a few turns where it did go for Harden, which not ideal, but we keep landing the quick attacks. A few turns we do get hit with Tackle, but it's not a problem as we finish the fight with a crit and drop Starmie for the second badge. I head south next and ponder my next challenges. They'll be the SSN rival fight, which I'm not worried about, the Electric Gym, which I have a sneaky feeling might be low-key worrying. Rock Tunnel is probably going to be horrific when I get to it. Giovanni might not be pleasant, but you know what? I'm not worried about the Grass Gym. SSN rival fight then, and I said I wasn't worried. I'm not because of the way the fights with him have gone so far. Versus Spearow, we one-shot it with quick attack to take it down for the count, which is good, and Rattata is next. We go for quick attack and down it in 1 hit too. So far so good. Versus Sandshrew, it survives quick attack and hits Scratch, but on the next turn, we can strike another quick attack to take it out. Eevee is last, and a crit quick attack brings it down. Told you I wasn't worried. Surge, though, is a very different prospect, and it's a case that this takes a few tries to do because we get messed up a few times by his Raichu using Thunderbolt, and even Mega Kick messes us up in some instances. Part of me wonders if I'll have to come back later, but eventually we get this effort. We go for quick attacks throughout. We get hit with a Mega Punch on this effort. Surge goes for an X speed, but crucially misses Mega Kick at the back end of the fight, and our 4th quick attack brings it down for the count. We are going through Rock Tunnel and Pidgey trivia then. Various Pokédex entries talk about how it kicks up sand to protect itself, and how they like to hide in tall grass. Some entries also talk about how it has a sharp sense of direction, and can unerringly return home to its nest, no matter how far it may be removed from familiar surroundings. According to the Pokemon Red and Blue beta, Pidgey was originally going to be named Pidge. It shares its category with Spearow, Natu and Rookidee. They are all known as the tiny bird Pokemon, though Natu has also been called the little bird Pokemon. It is the only Pokemon with a base stat total of 251. It has the shortest cry of any Pokemon, being only 0.181 seconds long. It is often erroneously depicted in Pokemon the series with 4 talons on each foot rather than 3. Despite its name, it more closely resembles various passerine birds such as the female house sparrow than it does a pigeon. The black markings around its eyes are reminiscent of Ra and Horus, the sun and sky gods of Egyptian mythology, who were depicted with the heads of falcons. The name may be a corruption of pigeon, or a combination of budgie, chickadee, and pudgy. I enter Lavender Town and decide to do the rival fight while I'm here. I might want to get the levels because, although I don't think the grass gym will be too bad, Giovanni will probably be rough. He begins with Fearow and we hit Quick Attack for decent damage, but we take some in exchange. We get hit with a Quick Attack, a Leer and a Fury Attack, the latter when we miss a Killing Blow with Quick Attack thanks to the 256 glitch. Shelder, out next, is a 2-hit with Quick Attack and only hits a Tackle in exchange. Vulpix doesn't survive 1 Quick Attack before going down to the blow, and Sandshrew is 4th. It does create a slash on us, but 2 Quick Attacks take it out. Eevee at the end only lands a Tail Whip while we use 2 Quick Attacks to take it down, the first being a crit that left it on red health. Going to Celadon City then, and like I said, Erica should be fine. Giovanni will probably be rough. I might need to bite the bullet and learn Fly. After that, I can't see the Poison Gym being too bad since he uses the Venonat line in this game and they're all weak to flying moves. I don't see the Psychic Gym being that bad, but before we can get to that, we'll have the Sylph rival fight and I can see that being horrible. I hit Erica first since I figure we'll have the easiest time there. I mean, I'm really not concerned about this. I suppose there's a chance with status afflictions this goes wrong, but we'll have to see. She begins with Tangela and we hit Wing Attack. It survives and stun locks us with Bind. When we break free, we hit another Wing Attack, but it survives again and she uses a Super Potion before once again stun locking us with Bind. Our 4th Wing Attack takes it out though. Weeping Bell hits Acid, but we take it down with 2 Wing Attacks, and that story is mirrored when it comes to Gloom as it survives 1 Wing Attack, hits Acid, but a 2nd Wing Attack takes it down. I have learned Fly ahead of the fight with Giovanni. How long before this move starts missing indiscriminately, I wonder. The accuracy probably isn't that bad, it's just I've got it built up in my head that it's going to miss every other turn, and when it's a 2-turn move that's quite costly. He begins with Onyx and we start swinging Fly. We do get hit with a few rock throws, but hey, it's an Onyx. It famously, Pidgey does have a higher attack stat than an Onyx, believe it or not, so 3 flies and a quick attack are enough to bring it down, despite Giovanni using his terrifyingly signature guard spec. We don't get hit with any super effective attacks from Rhyhorn, thankfully, since unlike Onyx, Rhyhorn actually does have an attack stat, only to weather a few horn attacks, but 2 flies and a quick attack are enough to bring it down. Versus Persian, we go for Fly and it fails with Screech before we one-shot it. I'm going through Pokemon Tower now and I think my plan is that I'll head over to Future City and deal with Koga because I might well need the levels before I go into Sylph. I'll clear Sylph out of Rockets and then we can throw down with the rival. I don't expect that fight to be even close to being pleasant, but if we can't do the rival fight at this level or whatever level we are when we get there, I'll have to hop over to Cinnabar and see about taking on the Fire Gym, just to see if we have more fortune there. Poison Gym time then, and it's time to throw down with Ninja Koga. Let's see how this goes. I think we should have a heck of an advantage, but we shall see. The fight begins and Venonat number 1 is a single hit takedown with Fly. Yeah, this is not going to be a problem. Venonat number 2 does decent damage to us with Psychic after Fly misses, because of course I wondered how long before that would happen in an important battle, but we land Fly at the 2nd attempt. Venonat number 3 is a 1-hit takedown with Fly, and Venomoth is last. It survives Fly, hits a crit Psychic to bring us to red health, but we swoop in with Quick Attack to end the fight and give us the 5th badge. As promised now, I'm going through Sylph. I do like to try and do the Psychic Gym before the Fire Gym, if I can. I mean, if I remember back to the anime, the really original Indigo season of the anime, I'm sure the Psychic Gym was like the 4th one chronologically in there. I'm sure he beat that before he got to the Grass Gym, but I digress. Let's talk about what's ongoing with the channel. Where to even start? I keep threatening to bring back Pokemon Master Showdown, and I keep not delivering on that threat. So, draw your own conclusions about whether or not it ever comes back or not. There is a lot of TCG stuff though, a lot of opening products, getting graded cards back, etc, etc. Fun hobby. I've been uploading the playthrough of Maneater at the time of writing, but by the time you hear this, I'll have probably finished uploading that, so I guess it'll be onto From Russia With Love at that point. I did release my Ultra Moon playthrough with bird Pokemon, so check that out. Quite a tricky thing to get through recording wise, it nearly killed me off. Challenge wise, what was next? Oh yes, well, this is bad timing on my part since the next team playthrough is a White 2 team run with fire types, but I kind of did this earlier in the year. I did my Ultra with Bird run just as I was just done an Ultra Sun run, so it's just weird how it works out like that. Yeah, Pokemon White 2 with a single Vulpix, my first Gen 5 challenge of the year. That should be out a few days after my birthday. It's going to be my third Vulpix challenge as well. As always, any ideas for future challenges, head to the comment section down below or follow the links in the description to my Twitter. Oh hey, new Twitter, I follow through on that threat. Or Discord. If you want to go down and hit my Twitter link, follow me on the new account. Yeah, say hello. Thanks for watching folks, let's move on to the rival fight. Well, the rival fight is just hideous as I predicted. We lose several attempts. There's a few problems. Sandslash, A, keeps critting us with Slash, and B, can also hit us while we're using Fly with Swift, which is something I forgot was a thing in Gen 1. I didn't even think Sandslash was that fast, but here we are. That's not just exclusive to this run either. I have noticed Sandslash does crit a lot in Gen 1 runs, particularly Yellow runs are, because like I said, the rival has one in Yellow, he doesn't have one in Red and Blue, so it's not really as noticeable. Cloyster has Aurora Beam, which just messes us up repeatedly, especially since we always get hit with at least one of them, and there's a Jolteon at the end which is just nasty to try and get past after we've been roughed up by Sandslash and Cloyster. Kadabra and Ninetales aren't too bad at least, so I bow out and decide that I'm going to try and hit the Fire Gym. I'm not sure Blaine is going to be too much easier, but at least we can hit him for neutral damage, and at least we're not weak to his team, so that makes things more promising. At the very least, clearing out the water routes and the secret mansion and the gym trainers should give us more levels, so at least if we can't beat Blaine yet, we might be able to go back and give a better account of ourselves at Sylph versus the rival. Plus, you know, physical attacker in this game, we've not got to deal with the double Intimidate on Blaine's team, which is nice. I mean, he's only got the Arcanine, so even if he was using this team in Fire Red, there'd only be the one Intimidate, you wouldn't get the Rowlet and Arcanine double team. We do lose a first attempt on Blaine, thanks to missing a Fly at an inopportune time, and getting crit by Arcanine's Fire Blast immediately after. But the second attempt goes better. He begins with Ninetales, and we immediately fly. We do get hit with Confuse Ray as Ninetales survives our fly attack, and Blaine hits with a Super Potion as we start to land quick attacks. We never do hit ourselves, but Ninetales does land a crit quick attack before we shake Confusion off and take it down. Rapidash hits Stomp on us, the one chance it does get to land a blow, but 2 fly attacks take it down. 2 fly attacks aren't enough to bring Arcanine down, and a single Fire Blast robs us of a good chunk of our health. I don't think we'd survive a second Fire Blast, but thankfully it goes for Reflect when it could have finished us off, and we drop it with Quick Attack. 6 badges down. I head back to Sylph to rematch the rival, wiser, stronger and more up for the battle. He begins with that Sandslash and we use 2 flies to take it out. Thankfully, he never goes for Swift, so we don't take damage in the air, only going for Poison Sting when we're not flying. Thankfully, no poison. Ninetales is second and hits Quick Attack for minimal damage before we take it out with a single use of Fly. That's a relief for sure. Cloyster is third. Aurora Beam doesn't do too much damage this time, but we get hit with 2 of them, and our attack is lowered twice by the move, which is pretty bad. It survives a second Fly attack before we take it down with Quick Attack. Even with 2 attack drops, Kadabra is still a one-shot takedown with Fly, and that leaves the battle with Jolteon to go through. We land 2 quick attacks of pretty basic damage, getting hit with first a Thunder Shock that does pretty insipid damage before he goes for double kick. We then crit a quick attack to bring it down, and that was a relief. Giovanni is next. I'm a bit worried we still don't have a great answer for his rock types, but that will be resolved soon. He begins with Nidorino, and we immediately go for Fly, one-shotting it. Persian is second, and we one-shot it with Fly. Things are about to get harder though, as Rhyhorn shows up in third. We immediately fly a few times, and we get hit with a few attacks. The second fly misses the target, of course, but the third fly crits to bring it down, as Giovanni uses a guard spec. Nidoqueen is last. There's a guard spec and a double kick to contend with. The latter don't do too much damage. We land a fly for decent damage and then take her down with a quick attack. It's time to take on Sabrina then, and I'm reasonably confident about this since her team is pretty physically frail. The one thing we can do is move reasonably fast and hit reasonably hard. Oh wait, that's 2 things. She begins with Abra, and we strike quick attack to take it out. That was simple. We do the same thing to Kadabra on the next round, and then it's time to face Alakazam. We go for Fly, just to be sure, and Julie one-shot it in short order. Boom! Time to face off with Giovanni then for the last badge, and I have a plan. We finally have Mimic, and it gives us a way of dealing with Rock-type Pokemon. We march into the gym and prepare to throw down with him. He begins with Dugtrio, and we immediately use Mimic to learn Earthquake. It genuinely doesn't have a way to hurt us, and we take it down with a few quick attacks. Persian survives Fly, but he only goes for a guard spec in the interim, and we can finish that off with quick attack. Nidoqueen survives Earthquake and hits Thunder, but the damage could be a lot worse. It does slightly under half, but we finish her with quick attack. Nidoking, out 4th, also survives Earthquake, but Giovanni only goes for a guard spec, and we strike quick attack to end him. Last is Rhydon. We begin to spam Earthquake, taking it out with 2 hits, but Giovanni, once again, only goes for a guard spec. All badges done. That could have been a lot harder if he hadn't decided to give up the fight. We do lose the first attempt at the Route 22 rival fight, but I go back into it with more of a plan. Versus Sandslash, we hit a Fly and take some damage from a Swift, but I use Mimic to learn Slash. This gives us a better normal move at least than quick attack damage wise. We then crit our Slash to take Sandslash down. We land Fly on Execute to one-shot it. Wing Attack doesn't do enough damage. I find that out in the first run. Ninetales survives Fly, but we come out unscathed before taking it down with quick attack. We land 2 crit slashes on Cloyster to take it down for the count, though we do lose a chunk of health to Aurora Beam. Kadabra goes down to Slash, and then right at the very end we crit a Slash on Jolteon to one-shot that and give us a victory. Whew, that was intense. Going through Victory Road, I'm looking to what lies ahead in the Elite Four. I can't help but think Lorelei is going to be brutal. Her team is bulky and she has super effective ice moves for us, so we're not going to cope entirely fantastically well there. Bruno could go either way. We'll probably do big damage to his fighting types, but we might also struggle with his 2 Onix, but it's probably not going to be as big of an obstacle as Lorelei. Agatha could be interesting. I think we might struggle to damage her since our normal type move is useless there, but it's about what she can do to us in exchange. Ditto Lance. We found out in the last Yellow run when I did it with Zubat that his team can be rough for flying types to deal with, particularly if they don't have coverage. I actually think the rival champion fight will be the least tricky of the next 5 major fights. I also checked to see if anyone had done Pokémon Yellow with a single Pidgey before. Of course it's been done before, I'd be more surprised if it hadn't. And as we stand here in the Indigo Plateau, here are our stats at level 78. Our speed is good, our attack and defence are pretty equal, all things considered. That special stat though is worrying because we're going to be facing quite a few super effective special attacks shortly. One of the things I maybe could do is use the double edge TM, but the problem with that is that we're going to get hurt with recoil. Take your guesses on if we can do it at this level or not. Right now, folks. Let's do this. Lorelei is friggin' brutal, I'll admit to that. At level 78, we can maybe get past Dugong with considerable effort. Cloyster though, forget about it. We can't hurt it enough, quickly enough, without being brutally wrecked by Ice Beam. So, I make a few tries, we lose a few attempts to Cloyster, we don't get further, and eventually I decide that this is not working and I make a hasty retreat and get back on the grinding trail. I figure that while I'm grinding, I realise there's no good grinding place, by the way, for what we have. I can't do Victory Road for grinding because too many rock types. I'll make another try at level 85, see how that goes. And if that doesn't do the job, then I have 8 rare candies, so level 92 might be the next place to try it. And then it's at least a simple matter to skip ahead to max level and hope that's enough. Do I really going to need to be max level to win this? I don't think I will be. These might be the famous last words. I do return at level 85, and while things go marginally better, Cloyster is still a brutal obstacle. There is one effort where we do make it all the way to Lapras, but we've been beaten up badly enough come that point that Lapras can very easily finish us off with Blizzard. And remember, Gen 1 Blizzard is spookily more accurate than it is in other generations. So, I guess all I can do is go back to grinding and come back in the early 90s. At level 92, I return and I challenge Lorelei, and eventually fortune comes my way. She begins with Dugong and we go for Fly. She does go for Rest after we've landed the blow, so we don't take damage, but while it's asleep, we strike 2 quick attacks and a wing attack to bring it down and put us into the fight with Cloyster. We do go for a Fly, we do crit the Fly, but we still lose about a third of our health to Ice Beam before taking it out with wing attack. Slowbro is a 2-hit with Fly, only spamming Amnesia. Spamnesia if you like. While we're in the air for the second Fly, she does change up and go for Withdraw, but we crit the second Fly to drop it. Jinx is a one-shot takedown with Fly before Lapras is last. We go for Fly, we land the Fly and then get hit with Blizzard, but we manage to survive on red health before another Fly takes the Lapras down to give us the win, and we can move on into the next round, the Elite Four. Fighting Trainer Bruno is next, and I'm a lot less concerned about him than I was about Lorelei. He begins with Onyx and we go for Mimic to learn Dig. Onyx only fails with Screech and we take it out with its own Dig. Hitmonchan is a 2-hit knockout with Wing Attack as I conserve Fly PP, but we do get hit with a weak Thunder Punch. Hitmonlee is a one-shot with Wing Attack and Onyx number 2 is out next. Thanks to an X defend, it survives Dig, but its only means of countering us are to utterly fail with Earthquake and then to miss Slam, as we strike Wing Attack and a crit Quick Attack to take it down. Machamp is last, we take it out with Fly for a one-shot because I don't think Wing Attack would do it and I don't want to chance what comes our way. Ghost Trainer Agatha is next. I wanted to say Poison Trainer just to be quirky, but I clearly didn't. She begins with Gengar and we strike it with Wing Attack for over half its health, just. Her reaction is to switch into Golbat. We strike Fly and Quick Attack to take it down in pretty swift order as it fails to register a hit on us, failing with Toxic. We finish Gengar off with a crit Wing Attack before Haunter is third. A crit Wing Attack takes it down before Arbok is fourth. We land Fly for big damage before Agatha drops a Super Potion onto it to heal some health, but a Quick Attack takes it down. Last is Gengar number 2. Wing Attack does half its health. We get both put to sleep and confused, but we soon wake up and fight through the confusion to take it out with another Wing Attack. Dragon Trainer Lance is up next, and I vaguely remember this fight being awful in the previous Yellow challenge, but we'll see how this one goes. So, he begins with Gyarados and we go for Fly, dealing decent damage before we get struck with Hyper Beam. We take it out with Quick Attack. Dragonair number 1 is out next and I go for Mimic before realising that this isn't the Dragonair that knows Ice Beam. So instead, I learn Hyper Beam and we get hit with Thunderbolt for less damage than I thought we would. We miss a Hyper Beam and get hit with another Thunderbolt before dropping Dragonair with Hyper Beam. Dragonair number 2 is also one shot with Hyper Beam. Gen 1 mechanics mean there's no recharge turn after a knockout. Aerodactyl is 4th, we land a quick attack while it goes for fly. I fly myself to avoid its fly and we hit decent damage. We do get struck with a crit wing attack before dropping Aerodactyl with Hyper Beam. Dragonite at the end is a single hit takedown with Hyper Beam, and that's a relief because if it hadn't gone down to that move, we'd probably have been screwed. Just the champion fight then, and I am so ready for this. Healed up, I head into the fight, and he begins with his Sand Slash, and I immediately use Mimic to learn Earthquake. We do get hit with some attacks, 2 crit poison stings, but thankfully no poison. We do lower his health with Fly before the rival uses a full restore, and we crit a Fly before taking it down with Quick Attack. Alakazam is 2nd and it misses Psybeam while we're flying, we one-shot it with the move. Executor is 3rd and once again we strike a single Fly to take it down for the count and put us into the fight with Cloyster. We strike a crit Fly, that's a relief for the crit, before taking big damage from Ice Beam, but we take it out with Earthquake to put us into the fight with Ninetales. We one-shot that with Earthquake though, and last is Jolteon. We outspeed, we strike the Earthquake needed to one-shot it, and that gives us a victory. I can wander on into the Hall of Fame, and Skyrat can be registered as part of the top 1% of all Pidgey. Run over, we did it. Well, thank you very much for watching folks, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, call out with a comment and smash that subscribe button. We made it through. I did enjoy this for the most part, always nice to play Gen 1 for the first time in a while. Join me again next time as I play through another of my favourite gens as I head to Pokemon White 2 and answer the question of if I can beat that with just a single Vulpix. As always folks, any ideas for future challenges, head to the comment section down below or follow the links in the description to my Twitter, new Twitter or Discord. Anyway, I am going to jump off here. I feel absolutely shattered as I finish recording this, not because of the recording, because I've not had much sleep. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. Take care, have a great day, and see you next time. So long, bye-bye, ta-ra, see ya.